thugs. Welcome to the MIZZES Best Reviews channel. I am Mrs. Best on CP time. Like the true African-American that I am late, but better late than never. Welcome to our review. This is a season premiere review for 90 Day The Last Resort, which is a part of the 90 Day Fiance franchise. I'm going to be busy. I'm covering a lot of 90 Day Fiance. The only parts of 90 Day Fiance that I am not and will not be covering is 90 Day Diaries, Between the Sheets, and the Pillow Talks, but those are gone. Those are gone. I know Pillow Talk was canceled, so we won't have those, but I will be covering 90 Day Fiance, Before the 90 Days, The Single Life, 90 Day The Other Way, and 90 Day The Last Resort. So for those who are new to the 90 Day Fiance realm, 90 Day Fiance, if we have like a pyramid, a tree, like so, 90 Day Fiance is the original series. And then I believe from 90 Day Fiance, we got 90 Day The Other Way. And then we got 90 Day Before the 90 Days, which is where we see the people together before they come together for the K-1 visa. Which one is there? 90 Day The Other Way is where people like Jenny and Sumit, who we're going to talk about, somebody from America is moving to another country to be with their partner. So the 90 Day realm is huge. I have covered some spinoffs and stuff, but now I'm like, F it. I'm just going to cover all of it because I am a little bit 90 Day obsessed. But let me know after this review if you guys are interested in me continuing with live reviews or if you prefer to have the pre-records where you can just watch it whenever the hell you feel like it and what works best for you. Just feel free to comment that in the chat. I also hope that on your way in or out, you consider liking the video, maybe subscribing. You are appreciated. And welcome to our new subscribers. I have a headache, so my glasses are not going to be on today. So if you see me looking at my phone like this, it's because Mrs. Best cannot see, and I have accepted that. But let's get into the episode. Thank you to American Born. This review was supposed to come on at 5, but I was doing stuff at 5. Work ran late, and I was craving Chipotle, so my husband took me to Chipotle. But now I am here and fed, so we're going to get into the review. This season is the hotmessexpress.net.org.com. It's just a lot. It's really been a lot. It's been a lot, and we just began. This episode was titled The Last Chance for a Fairytale. This is only season 3 of this show. But the premise of 90 Day The Last Resort is we see couples that were on one of the 90 Day Fiance franchises come to kind of like a couples retreat. I would compare it almost to marriage boot camp, or like, I believe there's a show called VH1's Couples Retreat, or it used to be. But it's kind of like a couples retreat of people that we have had the opportunity to watch on 90 Day. So the goal is these people go somewhere to stay with their partners. They're going to be with them for 3 weeks doing intensive couples and marriage and family therapy. And then after the 3 weeks of trying to save their marriage, the goal is these people should make a decision on if they want to be together or not. I'm all for it. However, 3 weeks to resolve an entire marriage, one would assume you might need a little bit more time. That's just my opinion. But I get that they have to do what they have to do. But we'll start this review by going over each couple, giving their backstory and where they are at today. And then we'll get into the drama in the Hot Mess Express that is Shekinah and Thais. But Shekinah is on my nerves right now. She is really on my nerves. She is on my nerves. Hello to American Born. I don't know if you are still here because StreamYard keeps showing me people here. Then they're not. I don't know what's happening in real time. But hello to you if you are here. So we're going to start with Shekinah and Sarper. I can't remember if they were, I believe they were on 90 Day Fiance. I didn't watch too much of their season. I am familiar with Shekinah. I am familiar with Sarper. I am more familiar with Sarper than Shekinah. I'm not going to lie. But I like Sarper. I don't really care for Shekinah, if I'm being honest. Let me know how you guys feel about Shekinah and Sarper if you are a 90 Day fan. But Shekinah, she's from LA. She's an esthetician, 43. And I'm not surprised they're there just based on how she is and based on how he is. No shade. The people who are quick to pay for things with their money, such as Botox, an esthetician in a lace front that's not very becoming of her. Sarper with his perfectly arched eyebrows, like you could see that there's a plastic surgeon and or cosmetic surgeon or nurse practitioner with some injectables that is in their life. But they just both seem very shallow independently, if that makes sense. They don't seem like they're ready for a relationship, let alone marriage. But they've only been married for about a year and together for 3 years. And he said it feels like so much longer. I said, Sarper, please do not come at this lady like this, Sarper. But Shekinah seems to feel like they are a compatible couple, but they need to learn how to argue. I said, well, if you're compatible, you shouldn't have too many arguments. Like me and my husband get into it sometimes, but we don't really argue too much. I feel like it's because we are compatible. If you're compatible with somebody, then getting along with them and not having arguments is something that should be simple. Not saying you're not going to have them. If you live with someone, there's going to be disagreements, but like, it shouldn't be disagreements to a point where your husband feels like he's been married to you for years and years and y'all only been together for 3. Just saying. But Shekinah gives someone who doesn't take feedback. She gives the type of wife who feels like that happy wife, happy life term. Some bitches live too true to that. And Shekinah gives me that. But Sarper says they argue all the time. And Shekinah's upset at Sarper for using their marriage as a subject matter in his stand-up comedy, because he's had a lot of success during comedy, which is great, hard to do. But she doesn't like that he's using like being around her, what it's like being married to her talking all the time as a subject matter. I said, you wouldn't feel so fucking sensitive if you guys had been together long enough to know each other. Like if my husband were to become a comedian and to make jokes about my mouth and how I talk so much, I'd be laughing with him because I do talk a lot. That's why I got a YouTube channel. So I don't understand why you would get upset with that unless you are insecure in yourself or insecure in your relationship or both. Just saying, I feel like you have bigger fish that you could be frying. Like if your man is making jokes about you and he's a comedian, at least he's letting the world know he's with you instead of trying to keep you a secret or on some BS like Debbie and Mido on our 90-day fiance. But that's all we get from them. We know Shekinah's rude and impossible. Now, Jenny and Sumit, they are the next couple that's going to be a part of this season of The Last Resort. And they are kind of interesting. The reason I view these two as interesting is because they were I remember Jenny and Sumit because I watched 90 Day the Other Way in its first season. And Jenny and Sumit were like a big deal that season because if I remember correctly, he catfished her. And I think when we were watching, and especially how they promoted the season before we watched their original season of The Other Way, we thought that maybe Jenny would have catfished Sumit, considering the fact that she's 30-some years older than him. But he catfished her. I said, the hell? Kind of backward situation. She chose to forgive him. They moved past stuff. She has since relocated from California to New Delhi in India. She lives with Sumit. Now, we do know in real time, for those who pay attention to the pop culture that is 90 Day, Jenny has recently been diagnosed with ALS, very debilitating syndrome. She spoke about how her father had it. I'm not surprised just based on how she talks. She talks very slow, almost delayed. There's like a slur that is common in people who have ALS. And I don't believe there is a cure for it, but we gonna hope that Jenny is okay. Hi, Redefine 7. Welcome in. You guys head over to her channel. She does a lot. I enjoy her shorts when things go down in pop culture. I heavily enjoy it. But tap in, support somebody Black and fabulous. Why not? It's free, right? It is free. Thank you for being here, by the way. I'm always in your comments, but now I can say hi. Jenny and Sumit, though, at the time of this filming, I don't think she was aware of her ALS diagnosis, but I really feel for her because that's not a joke. I wonder if she's going to move back to the Americas or maybe Spain. They have the #1 healthcare in the world. They're probably closer than America. But I hope she figures it out because that's nothing to play with. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. Redefine said, I finally caught you live. I've been doing less lives. I used to do only live content, but as my channel is growing, I'm realizing I'm going to have to like do some pre-records because there's no way I'm going to be able to cover all of these shows live. And this live was supposed to be a couple hours ago. It was actually supposed to be yesterday, and then I moved it to a couple hours ago, and then I had to move it to now. So I'm just glad somebody's here. It's quiet as kept. I'm just happy somebody's here. I always thought Jenny had something going on. Do you cover 90 Day? I know you're a fan. Do you cover it? Because we could send the people your way. But I always thought Jenny had something going on with her health just based on how she speaks and moves in general. But also she's much older, and she is at that age where even if you've lived a life of perfect health, you might start to have some issues. But I was actually really sad to hear about Jenny's ALS diagnosis. I don't have a problem with her. For whatever reason, my brain mixed her up with Angela, the one who terrorized Michael. And that was my own bad. I said, how can I mix up Jenny and Angela? We don't like Angela. Lord. Oh, you don't cover, but you watch. I think a lot of people watch 90 Day and don't cover it. It is a lot to cover. It is a lot. But yeah, prayers to Jenny. I doubt she'll see this live, but prayers to her. I think it's wonderful that Sumit is supporting her and staying with her. I do think these two love each other, but they truly are that awkward couple on 90 Day, but I hope they're okay. Now, the updates we got since we last saw them, aside from her living in India, is Sumit lost his job. So because of that, he had to move in with his parents. So now Jenny, Sumit, his mama, and his daddy all in the same house. I feel like that's difficult. Like, I could live with my mother-in-law. I don't have an issue with her. Shout out to Kathy. I've lived with her before, but like, I think the only issue is like sex. Like, the older you get, you don't want your parents. Like, I mean, you never want them to hear anything, but it sounds like sex is an issue in Jenny and Sumit's relationship. And it's because they can't have sex because of the style of the house. Their parents right there in the next door. Understandable. But Jenny also lets us know that since Sumit has lost his job, he is drinking a lot more. And she seems to be extremely concerned about his drinking. I feel like she's not telling us the whole thing about his drinking. But after watching how he behaved at the end of the episode, which we'll get into, I kind of felt like, oh, okay, I understand why Jenny's tripping. Because at first I didn't know. She said, ooh, child, that's a lot of living with the in-laws. Right. It's already enough we in the same city. Now I got to live with y'all. Lord help us. But we're going to get into Russ and Paola. They are 90 Day Fiance OGs. They were a part of season 1 of 90 Day Fiance. They have been together for many, many years. I believe they've been together for 12 years, married for 8 years or something like that. They do now have a son. She has become a pro wrestler, but they are living in an RV right now in Las Vegas. I said, not in Las Vegas. It's hot as hell in Las Vegas. It's hot as hell. Shout out to my friend Latasha. She is in Las Vegas and it's hot. She just put up a PSA on Facebook talking about, please remember to wear deodorant, and not just any deodorant, the one that works for your body and your pH. Amen to that. I can't imagine living in any desert or anywhere where it gets super hot or super humid in an RV. Because I don't know how it works, but I know we can drive RVs. It's not like a single wide or a mobile wide, a double wide or a mobile home. But I'm just like, how does that work? Do you guys start the RV so that you could get AC? Are we going to have to crack a window and let some of the heat in so we don't die from the carbon monoxide? Like, what is going on that y'all are in an RV, but she's a pro wrestler? And a pro wrestler where, baby girl? Are you with AEW? Are you with WWE? I know there's another wrestling sector, though. I cannot remember the name of it for the life of me. But I'm like, who are you wrestling for? It's Las Vegas. It is competitive, but with housing. But I feel like this lady and her husband can get like an apartment. I'm just saying, like a 1-bedroom in Vegas is still like, I believe like $1,000 to $1,300. Like, get an apartment. Why are y'all in an RV with the baby? Rita finds that I couldn't live in a desert in an RV. Absolutely not. If you're like, I'm in the Bay Area, we have wonderful weather, that I can understand. But if you're in like Southern California, Vegas, somewhere get hot or a desert's nearby, like get your ass out of that RV. Go to a property management company and apply. Apply. I don't know. Do what you got to do. Make fake check stubs, whatever you got to do. Get an apartment, please. I don't know why they're doing this, but it seems like there are issues, and why they're on the last resort is because they keep arguing. They don't get along. And well, it seems like Russ still loves Paola and is with it, but it seems like now that he is not the breadwinner, she don't want him no more. And she lets us know she has already met with a divorce attorney just to weigh out her options, and that this show is their last shot. It seems that he wants to stay married and do the work. It seems like she's already got, like, honestly, her whole bottom half of her body is out the door. And the rest of her is just sitting back trying to see if it's going to get better. But it's giving she might be staying with him just because of, one, her visa, and two, the baby. A lot of people do stay together for kids. Listen, your kids will respect you a lot more, and they will be okay if you leave their parent. They'll be all right as long as you make sure they're good. But we will come back to them. Cara and Guillermo are also back. They have been together for 6 years, married for 4. Their relationship was the hot mess express. Okay, quite literally. I do remember a little bit of them, and I just remember thinking these people are not going to make it, but they're still together. Now, Cara says that things were good between her and Guillermo until she got pregnant. She says after she got pregnant, their relationship changes, which is normal. It's just normal. Kids change your relationship. That's why you want to make sure your relationship is damn fucking strong before you have them. I tell people that all the time, and they be like, no, Mrs. Best, that's unrealistic. Okay, whatever you want to feel. That's why I ain't got no kids and no stress, and I don't have to call nobody like, you gonna take them for Christmas this year? Okay, that's fine. But they don't live together. Guillermo said, get me the hell away from her. I cannot live with her. They've been separated for about a year. He says he does not like her behavior when they're married. He don't feel like she operates like a wife. He said after the marriage, now that they're separated, he really don't like her behavior. I'd like to point out this, though, Guillermo. I'm all for you complaining about her behavior when you're married. You have a right to, because that's your wife. You have a right to say what you want from your wife. But shut the fuck up and put your raggedy cigarette out if you are going to complain about what your wife did after you separated and are no longer living together. She can do what she wants. Why is she going to be representing you and minding her behaviors for you if you don't even know if you want to be with her? That's not how it works. Like, figure it the fuck out or get a divorce. I don't understand it. But apparently after their marriage, she just said a lot went down. Guillermo gave us like the details, but he don't want to share a room with her. He was disappointed to see that he has to share a room in a giant, beautiful castle with her. Talk about he gonna sleep on the couch and not with her. I can't blame Guillermo because Cara can be annoying. She's funny, but she can be like a lot. Like, you could tell she's very excited to be on TV, which I'm okay with. But I'm like, girl, relax. You want them to like you again, right? Calm down. Cara's giving what dogs do when they're excited. That's what she's giving to be on the camera. And I'm going to need her to calm it the fuck down. I am. But I love you, Cara. I do. Redefines that she should just move on. Her heart isn't in it. I'm assuming you're talking about Paola. I agree. I definitely agree. I think she's scared to move on, or she probably fell out of love with her husband, but still appreciates or has love for him and wants to leave, but don't know how. But my God, my goodness, y'all. The other couple who's going to be in this season is Rebecca and Ziad. You know, as soon as Rebecca came on the screen, I was like, I don't like her. But for the life of me, I could not remember why. And then they started to show clips. And then as the episode went on, I was like, ooh, Rebecca. I'm surprised her and Ziad are still together. Ziad had my husband laughing because he just seems over Rebecca. You could tell that in Ziad's head, he's like, oh my God, she's talking again. Like, I feel like that's what's going through his mind over and over. Rebecca's on her 4th marriage. Hot Mess Express. as well as a red flag. She's got the biggest red flag. Her red flag is bigger than the flag that flies over the capital of America. My goodness, this lady is a red flag. Anybody that's been married that many times, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, and I'm not trying to be like judgy. I promise y'all I'm a sweet person. But if you tell me that you are on your fourth marriage, I'm assuming you're the problem. If not because of what other people do, it's problematic to me that you have not learned to choose better people after the fourth time. Like, what are we doing? But Rebecca says after this marriage, if it don't work with Zia, she'll never marry again. She lets us know that he has never been to therapy. She was kind of saying that as if she has concerns, but I feel like people who have never been to therapy sometimes get the most and do the best in therapy, if you get them in the right, therapeutic setting. But she got trust issues because y'all remember on their season of 90 Day, he met up with a blonde and he was like, why are you following me where I'm going? Don't worry about who I was with. The problem is you followed me. Ziad. Now, she would have followed you to your local Sprouts market. I would have been like, okay, girl, why did you follow him? But she followed you and found some shit. Now, I know what they say. If you go looking for something, you're going to find it. But if your man really loves you and is faithful, there should be nothing for me to find. I'm just saying. I looked through my husband's phone. Can't find nothing. I'm happy with that. I'm very happy with that. Lord help us. But she followed him. It seems like they haven't worked past that issue. And she kind of feels like he's going to run away from the problem if they talk about it in therapy. But she believes that he's cheating. And whenever she tries to confront him and talk about why she feels like he's cheating, he just threatens to leave. I said, then let him leave. Let him fucking leave. If that's the case, if you're getting mad just because we're talking about something, but you're choosing to stay with me, no. You can leave if you don't want to hear it or have that talk, but he chooses to stay with her. So I don't trust Ziad either. But I did holler when what's her face made a comment about Angela, Rebecca. She was like, oh God, I hope Angela's not here. I want to have a good trip. I said, did something happen with Rebecca and Angela? Somebody please enlighten me, because there's so many damn seasons of this show. They come on back to back to back. I don't be remembering. Y'all know I smoke the devil's lettuce. But Angela, I'm not mad at that statement. But why did Rebecca tell Zia when he got dressed to go out to the bar, because all the couples are going to meet up at an English pub? Why did she tell him, you look like you're preparing to pick up women? Girl, he's going out with you on camera on a show. He's not picking up women. Not tonight. Not tonight. And how does one's outfit look like they want to pick up women? That'd be like if I went out with my homegirls and I had a little bit of cleavage and my husband's like, you look like you're picking up men. Like, sometimes people just want to look good. Let them be, Rebecca. Come home and sit on it or something. Let them be. Lord help us. You see them as a red flag also redefined. Yeah. She's a red flag. 4 marriages. Right. 4th marriage definitely means you're the problem. It has to. It has to. But I feel like Rebecca's one of those people who thinks in her head, I didn't cheat on you, so I'm not a problem. She gives that. She definitely gives that. She said, child, I felt that though, because Angela is the worst. Angela is, I hope 90 Day never brings Angela back. I don't have nice things to say for Angela. Just shout out to Michael though. He is free. When a man is on the internet happy as hell with a big smile and happy tears to be divorced, you put him through it. And then you had an African man happy as hell. My God. I'm glad that Angela and Michael are divorced. I really am glad that they're divorced, but I don't ever want to see her on my screen. I'm tired of Colt. I'm tired of Angela. There's a lot of people on 90 Day that I'm tired of seeing, if I'm being honest. She is awful though. She is absolutely awful. I also want to add, Rebecca, you used to be a private investigator and you put 1 and 2 together and saw that shit ain't adding up and you still choose to stay with this man. You literally have the skill set and license to look into if he's cheating or not. This lady knows that this man is cheating. I feel like she just wants him to admit it so they can like work past it or something. But I forgot that Rebecca is a private investigator. Redefine said they shouldn't have brought her back when she publicly abused Michael. Well, she publicly abused a black man. So at the end of the day got to end, as they say. She publicly abused the black man. I feel like if she would have done that to someone else, she might have not gotten away with it. But then again, I'm thinking of Jasmine and Gino when Jasmine was snapping on Gino a couple seasons back, and TLC was just like, eh. And then I don't know if you watched the Worst Ex Ever on Netflix, I think it's the second or third episode of it. The other guy from 90 Day Fiance who was on there, who ended up being like a crazy, like, unaliver. Like, 90 Day Fiance and TLC is not vetting people appropriately or in a safe way to be on this show. And then when they do stuff, they don't really do much. But I think TLC is doing something because Liz and Via from 90 Day, The Single Life, they got a DUI leaving the tell-all. And they say now 90 Day ain't gonna bring them back. So we gonna see. I love this show too. I thought I had the worst ex ever until I watched that shit. I said, my God, today. Lord help us. But I love that show. I love true crime. I did upload a true crime documentary today on the channel. It was a little sad though. It was What Happened Upstairs with Ty and Bren. I think that's the name of it, but it was a very, very sad story, but it was interesting and showed that people can use social media to really help them. They don't do their research on these people. They don't. That episode on Worst Ex Ever proved it to me, because he had a background that like a basic check would have caught, but and that girl is still in his house while he's sitting in jail, which is crazy. I love true crime as well. Yes. Shout out to the true crime family. Shout out to y'all. Hey, y'all, my sit down air stank. Oh, I hope it smells better. Puff, puff. The Kris Jenner, what is that Kris Jenner gif where she's stank a little bit. But welcome in, Spicy Taki Chips. Welcome in. Who is next? Patrick and Thais. This is another 90-day couple that is they're not divorced, but it's all over the news. It made TMZ. Patrick and Thais are getting a divorce. Patrick is a person who has filed for divorce from Thais. I'm not surprised. I don't know if you guys watched 90 Day to Single Life a couple seasons ago. I believe it was the season with Chantel before she got with the woman that she is engaged to now. But Patrick's brother was on that season, and him and Thais made a little pop-up. It was around the time they just had their daughter. But Patrick kept saying like his brother's relationship was not perfect, and people kept looking at him like, or not Patrick. Patrick's brother kept saying that Patrick's and Thais's relationship was not perfect and that they had a lot of problems, and he didn't appreciate Thais and Patrick having an opinion on the woman who he is still with today, who he has a baby with now. So I think it just goes to show anybody in a relationship, like, just because your shit goes well does not mean that anybody else's relationship is going to go well. It also doesn't mean you'll be able to give advice. But they're getting a divorce. And Patrick, I don't know what would possess you to think that you need full custody of a daughter from her mother. But just because this lady is not naturally American born, and just because you had trust issues with her does not make her a bad mother. So I do hope that he was only requesting the full custody as a ploy, because a lot of attorneys will tell you, like, we're going to request full custody so that we can establish joint. Maybe that's his reason, but if he has any other reason for taking full custody of that daughter from their mother, like, no, unless you can say that Thais has abused the little girl or left her starving, there is no reason for him to do that. And I would feel the same way about her. Like, just because y'all got beef, still keep it fair for the baby. I never understand why people go stupid in that way. But they are the Hot Mess Express, divorcing today. It looks like they're trying to get back together. He is worried that men will look at her. And I'm like, she's beautiful. What the fuck did you expect when you went to Brazil to get a woman? The women in Brazil are beautiful. Like, they're absolutely beautiful. So it seems like Patrick is super insecure, in my opinion. I have not seen or heard him say why he don't trust this lady, aside from what we got at the end of the episode. But he feels like a trip that she took recently to Brazil was a trip to cheat on him. He feels like she has been distant from him. And he says that they are not having sex the way that they used to have sex. And he believes that when people stop having sex, that is a sign of divorce. Right. And he says he believes it's because this is his second marriage. I agree with him to an extent. If the sex stops in a marriage, what the fuck is the point? Unless if I'm not older, if my parts still work, if your partner and you like are not having medical issues or car crash or like something bad with mental health, like someone's passed away, like the sex really should not stop and can be a sign that something is wrong. So he is right on that. But to focus and accuse someone of cheating probably isn't going to make her want to have sex with you, sir. Just saying. Also, no shade. He's not much of a looker. He's not much of a looker. So maybe treat her a little right and stop accusing her of stuff, and then you'd be good. And if you think your wife's been distant, then instead of getting mad at the distance, I wonder if Patrick has asked Thais, why are you distant? Have I done anything to make you uncomfortable? Like, it seems like he expresses himself in a very like accusatory and aggressive way. I don't think she will handle that well, but she goes mute when explaining what she was doing in Brazil. And I don't think she was doing anything shady, which we know she wasn't, as this episode explains at the end of it. But I do feel like she's afraid to communicate with him because he seems like a person that has negative stereotypes, but talks down on her instead of talking like to her and including her. Like, it seems like he talks to her like that's his child or something, which I don't like. Redefine said communication is everything. It is. It is. We're not all going to be perfect at it, but you probably do a lot better with why have you been so distant versus you're not having sex with me anymore. I think you're cheating. Like, at least try, Patrick. But Patrick seemed like he also is not going to be the type to take, he doesn't seem receptive at all to criticism of himself. Yeah, that's how I feel. I'm trying to be like fair, but I don't like this man. I do not like this man. I'm trying to hide it, but I don't. But those are all of the couples we're going to have for this season of The Last Resort. Now, getting into what happened in the episode, they all go out to a pub, all of the couples, and everything was going good until Patrick Thais came in. When Patrick and Thais came in, things went from good to uncomfortable because Shekinah and her husband are problematic pick-me's. Well, I think Shekinah's problematic and forces her husband to be in her bullshit. I really do. But as soon as Thais walks in, but Shekinah is bothered, talking to the confessional about some stupid situation. And Shekinah, Thais, and Paola all sit together. One of Thais's eyelashes fell off, and Shekinah's like, well, I am a professional esthetician. You can't call yourself one if you're not professional. You got to get your license, bitch. But I digress. She's like, I'm an esthetician. I can put your eyebrow on or your eyelash on. She offers to put her eyelash on for Thais. Thais accepts and is acting like nothing is wrong between the two. And next thing you know, this lady mentions, while this lady half of her eye, yeah, you unfollowed me on Instagram. Bitch, don't touch me if you got a problem with me. I'm just like, was I the only one that thought that? Like, if you have a problem with me, why are you offering to do my makeup and all of that? Like, I don't think that Shekinah realized that just made her look fake as hell. But y'all may feel different. Let me know to the replay or whoever's here if you feel different about that, because I was kind of looking at her with a side eye. Like, you could have just pulled her aside and had a conversation immediately if it was bothering you that much, because Shekinah was definitely giving bothered. But instead, you play this nice, mean bullshit and then call her out in front of other people. And when she says, oh, you unfollowed me and I have not done anything to you, Thais is like, huh? Really? Now, I think at first she was struggling to understand what she's saying because English is not her first language. But then when she understood, she was like, oh, I did? I don't know. Sometimes I follow people and they just... But she kind of walked away from her like, oh, you're going to play that game? And I'm just like, play what game, bitch? Why are you so pressed with who follows you? MIZZES Best Reviews Instagram page has like 300 followers. I don't keep up I know I have somewhere around 300 followers. If people follow me, they follow me. If they don't, they don't. It is what it is. It's the same way here on YouTube. I would love to have people subscribe to me. But at the end of the day, if someone subscribes to me or doesn't subscribe to me, it's their choice. It's their choice. You cannot throw a fit. You cannot throw a fit. So I just felt like this was a stupid ass argument to have, especially coming from a 43-year-old licensed esthetician, as she likes to remind us. I'm just like, I'm only 34, but I don't give a fuck who follows me and doesn't follow me. Like, that's not gonna, there's people in my life I see often and hang out with who I don't have on social media. They may have social media, I have social media, but we don't have each other on it. I'm not gonna fucking like throw a fit if we're not following each other. It doesn't matter, but I am the last generation to know what life is like without social media. So maybe that's it. But then I'm thinking, like, Shekinah, you older than me. Why do you care? Why the fuck do you care? I just don't understand. Shekinah also let us know that Sarper got a beef with Patrick. It was the stupidest beef, too. It was the stupidest beef. It was stupid. Look, Redefine is laughing because it's foolery. Right. Don't offer help if I'm your opponent. Right. If you view me as an op, why are you helping me, bitch? So who's really fake? Doesn't make any sense. And it's not looking right in her favor when this lady's going through the divorce and stuff as this is airing. And I'm like, if you really stand 10 toes down on being mad at this girl who she says we never met in person, if you never met in person, you really have not a single fuck to give about if this girl follows or unfollows you. I'm just like, if this is what Sarper is dealing with being married to her, then that's exactly why they're on the last resort. I'm just saying. It's exactly why. But Sarper pulls Patrick aside, and I'm like, okay, so your wife said you have a problem with Patrick. You pull him aside, and Sarper was pretty chill about it. He's like, I look you eye to eye, man to man. You said my ears were big on Between the Sheets. What in the actual fuck? Your ears is big. They hella big. But like, the fact that they are watching Between the Sheets and then picking at their co-stars about their opinions is crazy. Because I'm sure Sarper and Shekinah were on Between the Sheets or a pillow talk, which I believe I've seen them on one before, probably a while ago, but I'm sure they would not hold back on their opinion of others. And they didn't even say it in like a disparaging way. Like, I have really small ears. Y'all see? My ears are extremely small. But like, and people make jokes about it. I don't care. As long as these motherfuckers help me to hear, I don't care. So I'm looking and I'm like, most men would not have a beef with other men over something as small as talking about their ears. My husband is next to me laughing because it's a stupid thing, especially for men. Like, men don't like tripping out like that in general. Men move past stuff really fast. So for a man to take someone talking about his ears on a pillow talk in an insulting manner, when that season people said far worse things about Shekinah and Sarper, I'm like, and the ears is what did it for y'all? It's given Shekinah was mad that she was unfollowed by Thais. And so she went to her husband and was like, you need to be on my side. We're a united front, and talk to him about this. I think she was in Sarper's ear because Sarper forgave Patrick so fast. When he said that to Patrick, Patrick looked at him and was like, oh, I didn't mean to offend your ear. But he said in a confessional, he's like, really? Like, and watch at the tell-all. They're going to be mad at what he said in the confessional. They're going to be mad at Thais and them. And they just confused as Sarper and Shekinah. Like, why are we target number one? What is this? Don't go on TV if you're this sensitive. That's what I'm going to say to Shekinah and her husband. Redefine said, if me and my husband was on a pillow talk, they would hate us. Right? The way me and mine talk shit, I'd be put off and asked to leave. So I'm looking at them like, really? That's probably why pillow talk is going away, though, because one, it's annoying when my DVR records the pillow talk on top of the episode, on top of the replay. That shit irks me. But I feel like if people are going on the pillow talk and it's interrupting the relationships that the people on the show have with each other, personally, I feel like that could be problematic. So Shekinah, are you the reason it's gone? I would love to know. I would love to know. Sensitive wench. And you an esthetician and you came on TV with that lace front, baby. Fix it. I'm mad at this lady in her lace front. But in the bar, after all of that is figured out with Sarper, Shekinah, and Thais, we see Jenny go over to Submit and she's like, baby, no, baby. And I'm like, Jenny, right, fix it. So Submit is having a great time. He's excited to drink. When the men asked Submit to drink when they were in the bar, I cracked up. They were like, what would you like to drink? He said, whatever will get me drunk. And he looked happier than we've ever seen Submit in all the years we've seen him on TV. And Jenny is asking him not to drink. She was stopping his shots. And she was telling him, because I don't want to deal. They're like, well, does he get too much when he's drunk? She was like, he walks in the walls sometimes and falls over. What do you mean he walks into walls? Jenny, please. And I don't know why my brain is thinking of Forrest Gump right now. Because I feel like when he's drunk, he'd be just like Forrest. I love you, Jenny. I feel like that is just what he'd be like drunk. But Jenny don't want her man falling in the walls. It seems like she's really concerned about the drinking. She was doing too much. She was taking drinks away from him, stopping, saying, neither of us are going to take this shot. Jenny, this is a grown man. Submit is 39 years old or 40 something. Like, I get it. There's been times my husband's been pissed drunk and me and a friend have actually had to like put him shoulder to shoulder and carry him out of a restaurant in Los Angeles that I will never go back to. And it happens. If it's happening often, okay, that's not good. But like at the end of the day, an adult is an adult. We get married to have someone to live life with, not to control. I don't think Jenny wants to control Submit because she had to move to him. However, I do feel like she needs to like lay up off him a little bit. But she tells him, because they step outside, she's like, I'm asking you not to drink and you're doing it even though I don't like you to. I'm just asking you to respect what I couldn't be in an argument with her. No shade. I ain't got time to be waiting on you to finish the sentence. Okay, do not laugh at me. Do not do that. I'm on the internet. Don't do that. But she talks. I always used to think that watching their seasons, like the point, you got me feeling like I'm in traffic on the 405. Like, can we get to it faster? Is there a shortcut? But, you know, Jenny is really calm and respectful of him, even when she's upset for the most part. But Submit said he feel like he got two moms and they end up going back to the room. So we go catch up with them in a bit. Right. Walks in the walls. She's like, oh yeah. I'm like, girl, if he walks in the walls and he's already been drinking, it is what it is. But I also feel like they should have put somebody around Jenny's age on this show who is not Rebecca, because my God, she said the slow talk would make me walk away. Right. And in real time now, we know she can't help it. But I don't have time for that. I don't. I'm so glad Jenny didn't like get with like a feistier man. Because if she would have got like, it seemed like Turkish men on 90 Day Fiance are very like, I'm the man. You're not going to tell me anything. I feel like that would have been a disaster for her. So maybe Submit and her are perfect for each other. Because in the end, he listened. They were leaving. He walked across the street. She was like, oh, let's go back to the castle. And he was like, guess I don't have a choice. Put his hands in his pocket. He looked like my little brother upset. I said, oh, Lord, bless his heart. But while Jenny and Submit end up leaving the whole event, Shekinah, not Shekinah, once they get back, oh, Shekinah does. Yes, Shekinah. My brain is everywhere. Shekinah leaves out of the pub and she brings Sarper. After so long, he goes after her. Now, we did see that man go to the bathroom. I don't know if anybody knows, when you drink alcohol and you have a good time and actually get drunk, you are very acquainted and friendly with the toilet. You got to pee. because that's liquid going in you. It's going to come right the fuck out. So he's peeing and she runs outside. He comes out after her. And he's like, why the fuck you come outside? And she's like, I am tired of your nasty Turkish swearing. Bitch, I know you motherfucking lying and got me cursing on this YouTube street because we are fucking American. One thing that it means to be American, aside from the hot dogs, the ignorance, and the racism from the po white trash, is we drink. We drink heavily. We play drinking games. We don't stop drinking. We have places like After Hours in Vegas. We have places like New Orleans. We thrive on alcohol. Rednecks is making moonshine in somebody's forest. So I'm kind of like, and you're going to come at him for Turkish swearing and drinking and shit? What does his culture have to do with him cursing? People in every culture curse. As quiet as his cat. Like, I don't understand. Understand. Like, I really don't. I don't. But she's upset with this man. And I just couldn't really understand why. She tried to say, well, you weren't on my side. I'm like, wait, what the fuck happened? He just went to the bathroom. I saw him go to the bathroom. And then she ran outside upset. I don't know if editing left something out because I don't want to just attack Shekinah, but it's not looking good for you, baby boo. But pretty much the night ends. We get to see when Jenny and Submit get home. This is nothing to discuss, but he was so mad he couldn't drink. He got home. He threw his blanket on the bed. He said, I'm just finally free. Let me have a drink. But we go. They really cracked me up with the bar. Redefy said, I love your vibe in the review. I have to get back to work. Oh, Lord, you're at work. Shout out to all of you swing shifters, evening shifters, graveyard shifters. You guys are the heartbeat of this country, and I hope you have a great shift. And I'm glad that you stopped in, even for a little bit. I appreciate you. Oh, Lord. The next day, everybody sobers up. I love that TLC sent them all out to drink. And then was like, yeah, but be up at 8 a.m. for therapy. It reminds me of this lady. Years ago, BET had a show called Sunday Best. And during the auditions of it, there was a lady on there who could sing and moved you to tears and had you feeling like you was going to have the Holy Spirit and the rapture in one. But she said, I might be a little hoarse because I was out late last night. She got cut for drinking. It's given 90 Day had these people up late to send them to church or something. Like, why you had them do that? But we meet the experts. They're going to be working with experts. That's why I say this show is similar to Marriage Boot Camp. The experts are going to be a sexologist. I did not catch their names, but throughout the season, I will. One thing at a time for Mrs. Best, y'all. There's also an MFT, which is a licensed marriage and family therapist. But this MFT also has a doctorate and was a Black man. Yes to my people. Okay. We need more Black men, specifically in mental health. Like, that is actually a thing. We need more Black men and mental health. We need more people of color in mental health, but especially African American and Hispanic people and people of South Asian descent. We need more of them because culturally you do better in therapy if you have someone that looks like you and understands your struggle. It is a fact. It is an absolute fact. But we also had a CBT expert, which is cognitive behavioral therapy. For those who do not know what that is, CBT is likely therapy that you've all done on your Talkspace apps or growth therapy, or if you've seen a therapist or LCSW and gone for therapy. 9 times out of 10, the type of therapy that they are doing is cognitive behavioral therapy because it just basically helps you become aware of your own cognitive processes so that you can find ways to heal yourself, find ways to change your behaviors, your patterns, things like that. I am in graduate school and will graduate next year, and I am studying psychology. So that is the reason I know that. My mother is also a licensed marriage and family therapist. So I work with a lot of people in that field, but CBT is usually what they use. So to have an expert on that is actually extremely useful because she will be able to help these people look into their patterns. Sex is a big part of relationships. So having a sexologist there is important. It can help with reattaining and reestablishing things like intimacy. And a marriage and family therapist is trained in not just couples therapy, but they are trained in things like understanding the dynamics of what comes with families to contribute to a person and what they contribute to a relationship. So all of these experts, were great. I don't know their, accolades, how good they are, but I think they are on the right track. Now, the therapy starts with Patrick and Thais. She's been out late a lot, according to Patrick. She goes MIA. She be missing in action as a whole. She don't answer phone calls, call him back, text him. And she recently did this on her trip to Brazil, which is why he was like, I think this whole cheating. Because if you go to Brazil and tell someone that you're going to Brazil to visit your family, and then you end up getting an Airbnb when you could just stay with your family like you normally do, and then you don't answer the phone to your husband either for days. If I leave the country and don't answer the phone to Mr. Best, he will probably go onto my YouTube channel and be like, I don't know where she's at, but y'all better find her. Like, you can't just not reach out to anybody, even if it's not your husband. Like, if I'm in another country, I'm going to reach out to the people I'm closest to or talk to often so that they know that I'm safe, because shit be happening. We be seeing people pop up missing, dead, all sorts of stuff. So I do understand him there. He is questioning a $2,000 charge on their credit card. He doesn't know what this charge is, which I'm like, I mean, my little Capital One card, it tells me what's charged. Even if I go somewhere odd or shady, your credit card will tell you the name of a charge, or at least tell you the category. That's what Capital One does. Like, it'd be like groceries and shopping, or medication, doctor's offices. Like, they will tell you the category of what it is you're purchasing. So why this man didn't do that, I don't know. Maybe he can't read because he's so busy wondering if she's cheating. But she finally comes clean about what she was doing in Brazil. She did explain that she was getting 360 lipo in her back. For $2,000? Now, I know stuff is cheaper in other countries, but like, why'd you go all the way to Brazil? Colombia is closer and they have better care. You could have went there. But I get it. You want to go near your family, what you know, what you grew up with. But she basically got lipo on her body. She did have a baby recently. They say it takes 7 years to get rid of all of the weight that a woman gains from having a baby. They say it could also take 7 years for your body to ever go back to how it used to. Shout out to all the beautiful women out there who have birthed children and put their bodies at risk and sacrificed them to do so. I'm not mad at her for getting her lipo. At least she's not like, what was her name for before the 90 days? I believe Laura, talking about she want to have skin removal surgery big as a house. Girl. Like, so I'm happy that someone's getting lipo who might have needed it or wanted it. It probably made her feel better. It's also giving that maybe, Patrick, she's not having sex with you because she's not confident in her body since having a baby. Just saying. But they do ask an important question to her. They're like, why wouldn't you just tell him that? And she says she didn't want to argue or hear no, which tells me that he may be financially controlling and emotionally abusive, which I believe. And the reason I'm saying that is because I'm not going to not tell my man anything out of fear of his reaction. If you have to fear your partner's reaction, man or woman, that you're probably in something that's unhealthy and toxic. That's just how I think. I don't have all the answers to relationships, but like, even if I know something's going to piss my husband off, I will still come to him and say it, because what am I afraid of? Like, no, I'm not happy that the man is angry or bothered if something happens, but like, why would I be afraid to have to deal with that? Like, just because someone's unhappy doesn't mean it should be like World War III every time. And Patrick does give that. I think he wants to be the one, right? Because he sponsored her to come over here. That's definitely what it's giving. But they ask her if she believes that omitting the truth is lying, and she says no. That's the problem. Omitting the truth is lying. If you're doing anything to avoid giving the truth, you've told a lie. If you don't believe me, look up the dictionary, the synonyms, the antonyms, all of that for lying. You can try and manipulate it to make you feel better all you want, but omitting truth is lying. So if you are keeping something from somebody and then they find out and they are upset, it's because you have lied to them. There are different ways to lie. Y'all remember when we learned about nouns and adjectives and verbs and adverbs? Think of omitting the truth as like an adverb to lying. You're still doing the same thing. There's still an action there. You're just doing it in a different way. So I do see that Thais is a problem as well. because that's not a normal thing to say. And whenever people say they don't think omitting the truth is a lie, they usually end up in some shit because of their, I won't say lie, their omitted truth. But if it was just an omitted truth, it wouldn't be a big deal, right? They make no sense. But overall, Patrick seems to view the family and his marriage. He seems to feel Thais does not view that as a priority. I don't think she does either. What person in their right mind leaves the country while they are a wife and a mother to a small toddler to get a surgery they did not need and not tell your husband, separate from the charge? Because I think that's the worst thing you could do in a relationship, is like be putting charges to credit cards without telling your spouse. That's not good. But separate from the charges and all of that, that's bad. You went under the knife without telling your husband. I'm sure her family knew, but if you don't tell your husband that you're going under the knife, your marriage to me is over. Like, me and my husband have had hard times, and that man would still show up. Like, usually if you go under the knife or have something with health, selective, elective or not, like, you tell your partner. Because what if you would have passed away under the knife? Like, was it Jackie, DC Young Fly's baby mama who passed away trying to have plastic surgery she didn't need? What if that happens? Like, yes, you may want to look better and feel better, but we have to remember that cosmetic and plastic surgery, lip injections, all of this, it's not natural. And there's a reason why you have to sign waivers before you do it, because there is a possibility you could not wake up. There is a possibility you could have a side effect that could impact your life forever, like K. Michelle. So I just feel like Thais should have took it more seriously. But from what I got from their first meeting with the experts, Patrick is insecure as fuck. I think he dated out of his league, and now it's coming back to bite him in the rear end, because in real life, nobody that looked like her gonna want him. I said what I said. And I think that Thais is a liar, but I think she finds ways to lie. I think she's a passive aggressive liar, if that makes sense. Like, she's gonna find ways to lie where you can't really get hella mad, but you still doing something. Like, she gives me, she'll gaslight him and be on BS. I think watching them in one episode showed me why they are currently getting divorced, is what I will say. Sometimes you just understand it. And something she said that's interesting is, you don't have to tell everybody your business, but stop pretending like your shit is perfect, because that's what they did for so long. And now their divorce is like trending all over TMZ because they pretended their shit was perfect for years and years and years and years. And it's like, why would y'all do that? we know it's not. But we move on to Russ and Paola, who were the Hot Mess Express as well. They talk with the experts, and Russ says that they had a great life in Oklahoma when she first came to America. He is an engineer. He makes great money. The problem is he had a stable job in Oklahoma, but Paola was not happy in Oklahoma. If I were not from America and I had to live in like Oklahoma or Alabama, I'd be unhappy too. Like, there's a reason why you see cities like Seattle, Los Angeles, San Francisco, Oakland, cities like New Orleans, New York City. Okay, there are reasons why every big desired city that people want to visit in this country, they are more diverse than middle planed America. So I can understand why she was not happy in Oklahoma. Also, I don't want to motherfucking live nowhere where a tornado could fall from the sky and wipe out my house, my neighbor's house, my friends. Who wants that? I always wonder why people still live there. Like, I don't feel like people should live in states like Oklahoma or where tornadoes happen like often. Like, doesn't make sense. Why are we rebuilding our houses every year? Just move. Just move. You're not meant to be there. But these two had all of these problems. Now, after they left Oklahoma, he did have a job. Paola had me thinking at the beginning of this episode, like, this man could not hold a job. He's a fucking engineer and he has jobs. The problem is he keeps getting laid off, which I do believe. In California, yes, there's a lot of jobs here. And this is why a lot of people move here and then leave. Or this is why a lot of people move here from other states, fuck it up for us, and then end up staying and ended up homeless and using the services that people who are actually from here need. Because they come here thinking everything's going to be great. I got this great paying California job, when California has some of the highest turnover of jobs and employment of any state, extremely high taxes, extremely high cost of living. It's really not a place to come if you ain't rich cannot guarantee stability. It's a great place if you're an entrepreneur and stuff, but if you're not born here and don't understand our hustle and how to do it, it's not gonna be for you. So it sounds like that's where they had went. Then they ended up in Nevada. He lost his job. Because of that, she's been having to support the family financially. I want everybody to remember that he supported her financially, sponsored her to come over here because you need $10,000 to do it for the K-1 visa, and provided her quality of life until she was able to get on her feet. Now, because he needs her help, she says that he feels like an expense and she's only staying in the relationship for their son because he wants him to be okay. She puts the 6-year-old in the bed with them in the RV so she don't have to fuck on this man. And in my opinion, it just seems like this lady doesn't want him because he no longer can provide financially. And I think Paola ain't shit. I know people might think that's crazy, but when you take your marriage vows, you say for better or for worse, for rich or for poor, in sickness and in health. The for better or for worse, he was there for you in the for better, but now that it's worse for him, you're not there for him. Haven't said that he did anything to you. You haven't said he talks to you crazy. You haven't said he stopped trying to take you out and do stuff and be in a relationship. You haven't said he's a bad father. Your only complaint is that he lost his job. He was laid off. He wasn't even terminated. He was laid off, likely with others. And the only reason he was laid off is because he left the stable job he had been at for years before your motherfucking ass came here. So it's kind of like, where is the fact that you turn your back on this man as soon as he needs you, when he was there for you to even have what you have? I think she's fucking somebody else. I don't know who else thinks that, but I think she has somebody else on the side that she's sleeping with. It does not make sense. She's also seemed to tell us that having sex with him is not fun. She says she just lays there like a dead cow. Why are you here? Why are you here? Why are you with somebody who, when you have sex, you're just laying there? Like, why are you not making, girl, if you don't climb up on top of that dick and do something, I don't care if you grab his t-shirt and roll it around. You just laying there like a dead cow. If the sex is bad, make it better. I'm just like, I don't know. I'm also a Gemini. I've been told we're sexual. I don't think I'm very sexual, but I have been told we could be sexual. But I'm just like, if the sex is bad, then do something, be proactive, make it better. I would be popping up in lingerie, looking for stuff to buy, booking vacations, sending my son off to his grandparents so me and dad could make the RV shake. Okay, like, do something. But the fact that she hasn't made any effort tells me that she just don't want this man no more. And she was probably somebody who came to America, unfortunately, thinking, oh, this American money and this man could do this for me. And once he stops doing it, I don't actually want him. That's why you want to fall in love with people for who they are and not for their income. Just saying. But we're going to move forward with them. Let me know how you guys feel in the comments. Shekinah and Sarper talk. Shekinah mentions being upset that Sarper was not there for her through an argument at the pub. I said, I feel like Shekinah is trying to produce, because I'm like, you're on a show called The Last Resort for your marriage, and you bring up some shit that went down last night. I get that may bother you, but I thought it was stupid. The man went to the bathroom and you stormed out. You didn't even try to hear what he had to say. It's like when he talks, she's just listening for a response versus actually trying to understand and see his perspective. And I hate when people do that. But I'm like, this dumb bitch really brought that up in front of everybody. And I'm just like, Shekinah, you're draining. And I'm so glad Thais and Patrick just sat there and paid her dust, because I feel like she did that hoping that they would jump in so that she can argue some more, because she kind of does give miserable. And pretty much Sarper says that he doesn't feel respected in his relationship. He also let us know that Shekinah is no longer a breadwinner. He says that he's currently the breadwinner. He said he's providing the whole bakery and he treating her like she gluten-free. I said, oh, I never understand why people want gluten-free like bread instead. The shit don't it falls apart. I don't understand that. And I know I'm in California and we have the stereotype of like gluten-free avocados and iced coffees, but like, I don't really care for iced coffee. I do love avocados. And I try to avoid things that are gluten-free. I really do, because they fall apart. But That was the funniest metaphor ever, and part of the reason why I watched 90 Day, because English is not these people's first language. So the way they explain shit is just, I love it. It's wonderful. But at first I'm like, okay, Shekinah's only the problem. But then Shekinah says, yeah, well, tell them about how when you get mad at me, you threaten to fuck everyone in our city. Y'all really think too highly of yourselves if you think that everyone in the city wants him. Like Sarper, he's an okay looking man, but him and Shekinah both need their makeup. They both need their estheticians. They both need whatever it is they do to look like they do, because people don't come out of the, you know, the body looking the way that they do. You know, just saying. But she's upset at that. And Sarper seems to like, what am I supposed to do? I'm mad. You make me mad. And I'm like, okay, so you and Shekinah are toxic, which is probably why even through your problems, y'all still sticking together and trying to have a beef with people on the cast, which is crazy. But he says all this crazy stuff and tries to reason with it. And for whatever reason, Rebecca feels like she has to defend Shekinah. I say, you feel like you got to defend the hoe who was starting the shit last night? Were you not at the pub, Rebecca? Were you not paying attention? This hoe don't need no defending. She's just fine all by herself. But Rebecca chimes in, and Ziad just looked like, this bitch just don't know how to shut the hell up. I know, Ziad. I feel you, brother. I do. But, she tells Sarper, Miss Rebecca tells Sarper to shut up. I said, you could have tried to explain it to him. Like, the way you're talking to her is making me feel triggered. It's like, she could have said something, but don't just go cussing out some other man, telling him to shut up like yours ain't right in front of you. Like, what are you doing? And when she tells him to shut up, I thought it was funny because this lady was like, I'm going to defend Shekinah. And Shekinah was like, don't tell my husband to shut up. Because that's me. I could be as mad as I am at Mr. Best, calling him all types of crazy stuff. But if somebody else comes to, don't be talking to my husband crazy. Let me do that, not you. So she kind of checked Rebecca, and the episode ended with Rebecca looking at both of them and saying, shut up. I said, oh. I said, not this white lady done what she called a duel. She said, we are going to battle. She said, don't tell my husband to shut up. And she leaned in slow and looked at both of them and did it again. I said, Rebecca, you a PI. You see what people do when you talk to them crazy. Because where I'm from, if you would have done that, me and my husband would have fought. My husband would have came for yours and I would have came for you. Because what? Not you leaning in. Oh, I felt like I felt like Scar in the Lion King. I felt like that's how Rebecca felt when she looked at them and she said it again. I feel like she really meant to say, you've deliberately disobeyed me. I really feel like that's what she wanted to say. But Rebecca is going to be starting shit. Ziad just already looks stressed out. She also cursed at Ziad for trying to even interrupt. So we will see what happens. But this was a great start to the premiere of 90 Day, The Last Resort. I know I am doing this live at a time that nobody expected me to go live. I do normally go live at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, which is 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, but I have been in finals, so it's been a very busy week. If you guys would like me to continue doing live reviews of 90 Day, The Last Resort, I am totally willing to do it. Just let me know, drop a comment, send me a DM, whatever you are comfortable with. But that was really it for this first episode. I do feel like it'll be a good season. I am honestly looking forward to 90 Day the other way, if that makes sense. And I want to see if 90 Day before the 90 Days is going to do anything with Lisa from the last season. But before we go, I do thank everybody who made it this far and watched this live. Shout out to our replay gang and Thug Life. You guys are appreciated. Tap in with my co-host and the other great Black creators that are in the description of this video. There's also information on how you can contact me, other things that have to do with B3ST Entertainment, such as my spousal unit who makes music and does vlogs. But other than that, beautiful people, I do appreciate everybody for watching. I hope you consider liking the video on your way out. And I will see you beautiful people for the next review. Deuces, adios, au revoir. I will see you next time.